You are the most socially connected human being who has ever lived. You have more friends, followers, and contacts than any person in all of human history, and you are lonelier than your great-grandparents ever were. That's not a coincidence. That's a design flaw. Not yours, your brain's. Every day you open your phone without knowing why. You check notifications you weren't waiting for. You scroll through content you didn't plan to watch. You compare yourself to people you've never met. And at the end of it, despite being exposed to more human beings than any hunter-gatherer could have imagined, you close your phone feeling empty. Most people blame themselves. They call it laziness, weak discipline, a personal failure. But the real explanation is far less your fault than you think. Your brain is running on hardware roughly 300,000 years old, and it was never designed for what you're asking it to do. To understand why, we need to go back to the world your brain was actually built for. For the vast majority of human history, people lived in small groups. Not cities, not towns, groups of roughly 30 to 150 individuals. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar found that 150 is approximately the maximum number of stable relationships the human brain can maintain. Beyond that number, the system starts to break down. Today, this is called Dunbar's number, and it shows up everywhere. Ancient villages, military units, the most effective companies. 150 is where the human brain loses track. In those groups, everyone knew everyone. These weren't strangers. They were family, hunting partners, people you had grown up beside. Your entire social world fit inside one campfire circle, and your survival depended entirely on that circle. If the group accepted you, you had food, protection, and belonging. If the group rejected you, the consequences weren't just uncomfortable, they could be fatal. A lone human in the ancient world was vulnerable to predators and starvation. Rejection wasn't embarrassing, it was dangerous. So over thousands of generations, evolution built a brain exquisitely sensitive to social signals. A smile, a nod, a laugh at the right moment. These weren't just pleasant, they were survival data. They told your brain, you are safe, you belong, you matter here. And when those signals disappeared, when people ignored you, excluded you, looked away, your brain registered it the same way it registered physical pain, because socially, it was. Now take that same brain and drop it into today. In a single day, you are exposed to more human faces and more social signals than your ancestors encountered in an entire lifetime. You see people succeeding, traveling, achieving, strangers living lives that look better than yours, and your brain, your ancient tribal brain, processes every single one as a potential social comparison. In a small tribe, comparing yourself to others was useful. It helped you understand your position in the group. It motivated improvement. But social media doesn't show you your tribe. It shows you everyone. The most attractive people from every country, the most successful from every industry, the most admired, curated, filtered, and presented at their absolute best. No bad days, no failures, no ordinary afternoons. Neuroscientist Ethan Kross at the University of Michigan found that passive social media scrolling is consistently linked to increased feelings of envy, inadequacy, and loneliness. Not because people are weak, because the brain was never built to process that volume of comparison without consequences. Imagine if a hunter-gatherer spent every day surrounded by the strongest hunters and most admired members of every tribe on Earth, all at once, all the time. They would feel inadequate too. Social media creates exactly that situation, every day, in your pocket. Then there's the attention problem. Human attention evolved in environments where new information was rare and often critical. A strange sound in the bushes might be a predator. An unfamiliar plant might be food. Paying attention to new things was a survival skill. Social media platforms are engineered to exploit exactly that instinct. Every notification is a strange sound in the bushes. Every new post is something your ancient brain insists might be important. The platforms didn't create this vulnerability, they just found it. And they built billion-dollar businesses on top of it. This is why scrolling feels so automatic. It's not weakness. It's an ancient attention system doing exactly what it evolved to do, in an environment it was never designed for.
And then there's the like button. At its core, a like is a tiny unit of social approval, A digital version of the nod, the smile, the laugh around the campfire that told your ancestors, you belong here, you matter. When someone likes your post, your brain releases dopamine, the same neurochemical released when you eat, when you connect with someone you love, when something genuinely good happens. The platforms didn't engineer a new reward system. They found the oldest one and learned how to trigger it remotely, repeatedly, and unpredictably. Unpredictably is the key word. Psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered that unpredictable rewards are far more compelling than predictable ones. A slot machine pays randomly. That's exactly why people can't stop. Social media works identically. Sometimes a post gets 10 likes, sometimes 1,000. You never know, so you keep checking. Your ancient brain, chasing approval it was designed to need, trapped inside a system designed to make that approval feel permanently just out of reach. None of this means social media is the enemy. Humans evolved to communicate, share stories, and build relationships. Social media genuinely satisfies those needs in ways previous generations couldn't imagine. People find communities they'd never encounter locally. They maintain relationships across continents. They learn and connect at a scale that is, in many ways, remarkable. The problem isn't the technology. The problem is the mismatch. Your brain evolved for a village of 150 people, not a global audience of billions. It evolved for occasional meaningful social feedback, not hundreds of notifications engineered to keep you engaged indefinitely. It evolved for real relationships with full context, not curated highlight reels optimized to trigger your deepest comparison instincts. And here's what changes when you understand this. You stop blaming yourself. Struggling with social media is not a personal failure. It is the completely predictable result of a 300,000-year-old brain living in a world that is, in evolutionary terms, about 15 minutes old. The same brain that tracked animals across open savanna, built shelter before storms, and maintained the social bonds that kept entire tribes alive. That brain is now trying to navigate algorithmic feeds, viral content, and infinite scroll. It was never built for this. Social media didn't create human nature. It exposed it. The hunger for connection, the fear of rejection, the need to belong. These are not modern problems. They are ancient drives, written into your biology over hundreds of thousands of years. The difference is that today, those drives are being activated at a scale and intensity that evolution never prepared you for. You were designed for a tribe, not a timeline. And the moment you truly understand that, you stop fighting yourself, and you start understanding yourself instead.